Hello everyone, for OneWrestling.com, this is Bill Apter, and I must admit, I hate doing these segments with that talk about losing some of the great stars, superstars, super talents in all of professional wrestling. I got a message from Brian Elliott, the publisher of Fighting Spirit magazine, and hang on, let me just get it out of the printer here because I wanted to read it to you. And it said that the British Wrestling Reunion has reported that RIcki Starr has died, and his son, RIcki Starr's son, said, very sadly, my father passed away on September 20th at 83 years old. He went peacefully, thankfully, and didn't suffer for too long. He had an amazing life and respected that. At some point, his son said that he will get in touch and talk about his dad. But when I was growing up, and I was a fan back in the late 50s, early 60s, RIcki Starr was one of my favorites. He had this great, you might want to call it a gimmick or whatever, but he was a ballet dancer. He actually knew how to dance professionally, and he would aggravate his opponents like Karl von Hess and other rule breakers by running over to them and slapping them in the face and pirouetting away from them, etc. And we'd all get a kick out of that watching it at Sunnyside Garden. But then RIcki would start getting beaten up, and he'd get real serious and show what a fine technical wrestler he really was. He also was an amateur wrestler, an amateur boxer, but more than that, he helped shape my childhood of me as a wrestling fan that I never forgot. I was in England several times thanks to Alex Shane bringing me over, and I tried to contact RIcki Starr because he had left the United States, God, I don't remember, back in the 70s or 80s, and just never came back. He retired there, he went to some of the reunions, and then he became reclusive. No one knew what happened to him. I tried to find him a few times. I think I may have spoken to him. He wouldn't admit it was he when my mentor Stanley Weston died. So very sad to report the death of the ballet dancing fabulous wrestler RIcki Starr. On the line here on my cell phone right now is one of the great world heavyweight champions in history, and his father booked RIcki Starr into the Amarillo territory, and I'm sure he has a story or two to tell us. Dory Funk Jr., welcome to a very sad Apter chat.
Thank you, Bill, and it's a pleasure to be on your show, and I'm kind of mixed emotions. Yeah, I'm really happy to hear from you.
Thank you.
And I'm really sad to hear about RIcki Starr.
Yeah.
And I did have the opportunity to meet RIcki Starr, and he came to Amarillo, Texas, and wrestled for my father, like you said, in the mid-50s. And I remember watching, and RIcki Starr developed his wrestling style, his current style, mixing the ballet with the wrestling in Amarillo, Texas. That was the first time he tried it.
Really?
And like you said earlier, RIcki was a great amateur wrestler, and but there was something else he was trying to develop for a professional wrestling style. And I was watching one night, and my father came out of the dressing room, and I was like high school age, and he said, I want to know what you think of this. RIcki Starr went in the ring, and I want to tell you, he tore the house down.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. He had natural charisma.
Oh, he was so charismatic.
Yeah, yeah.
And they had just never seen anything like that. Now, at the same time, if any of our fans check him out on YouTube, you'll notice this about RIcki Starr. He does loads and loads of entertainment with the ballet style. But if you watch him close, he'll throw a real amateur wrestling move in there every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just to show what he knows about wrestling for real. And I had the opportunity to tell you a story earlier. Amarillo, Texas was a tough place to get into the wrestling business.
Oh, yeah.
And there were some tough athletes there. But my father, Bob Keigo, and Ricki Starr were all three amateur wrestlers. And before the show went on one night, they were out there to challenge any of the fans that wanted to come in the ring and see if they could make it as a professional wrestler. And to tell you the truth, they were there to discourage fans from becoming professional wrestlers and let them know how tough they were. So they had them lined up, Bob Keigo, Ricki Starr, and my father, and the fans could come in and take their choice. Who would you like to wrestle?
And I assume they all chose the guy with the ballet slippers, right?
Everybody wanted to pick on a guy with the ballet slippers.
Yeah.
especially out there in West Texas.
Oh, of course, yes.
Ricki went through about 5 guys, one after the other, and my father, Dory Funk Jr., kind of see that Ricki was kind of getting himself worn out just a little bit. So my father stepped in on number 6 and stretched him out with the top body scissors, and he decided he didn't want to be a professional wrestler either.
After all.
But Ricki Starr, if you watch him wrestle, you'll see all the entertainment, but watch him close, you'll see some real good wrestling moves.
All right. Dory Funk Jr., thank you so much for your memories of the great Ricki Starr.